Hello, my name is Delcy and this video will focus on how the brain develops before birth. I would like to acknowledge that this video was created for my Psychology 110 course. This project is based on our class lectures, specifically Lecture 3, our textbooks, and my personal notes. I've also provided a few visuals from online. Before we dive into individual stages, here's a quick overview of the major steps. First is neurulation when the tube forms. Second, differentiation, when neural stem cells become neurons and glia. Next is primary vessels. The brain begins to segment into 3 regions. Fourth, secondary vessels. Those 3 regions divide into 5. And last, adult brain divisions. These vessels develop into all major brain structures. Around 18 days after conception, the neural plate forms from ectoderm tissue. Around 24 days, it folds into the neural tube, which becomes the brain and spinal cord. Without it, tube closure may fail, causing spina bifida. After the neural tube forms, the cells linking it inside are called progenitor cells. They're like the brain building blocks. In the early stages, these cells make copies of themselves through symmetrical division, helping the brain grow. They switch to asymmetrical divisions where each cell makes one new brain cell, a neuron or a glial cell, and one progenitor to keep the process growing. This is also where radioglial cells form. These cells help neurons travel to where they belong in the brain. We've gotten to my favorite part, primary vessels. The tube forms 3 primary vessels: prosencephalon, the forebrain; mesencephalon, the midbrain; and rhobencephalon, hindbrain. These regions begin to indicate where the major brain structures will form later. Next, these primary vessels divide further into secondary vessels. Prosencephalon becomes the telencephalon and the diencephalon. Mesencephalon remains the same. Rhobencephalon becomes the metacephalon and the myelencephalon. At this stage, the secondary brain vessels begin transforming into the major structures of the adult brain, each one playing a key role in supporting everything from higher thinking to basic functions. These functions are responsible for cognition, like memory, language, and problem solving, for motor control, which include movements and coordination, and for autonomic functions like breathing, heartbeat. The telencephalon forms the cerebral cortex, where higher thinking happens, and the basal ganglia, which helps with motor control. The diencephalon becomes the thalamus and hypothalamus, which handles sensory signals. The mesencephalon or midbrain controls visual and auditory reflexes. The metacephalon becomes the pons and cerebellum, important for breathing, balance, and coordination. And the myelencephalon forms the medulla, which controls vital functions like heart rate, breathing, digestion. Let's now quickly recap the journey. First, neurulation forms the neural tube, differentiation, followed by primary vessels, followed by secondary vessels, and last but not least, the adult brain regions. Here's a cool fun fact. The neural tube forms just about 24 days after conception, often before a person even knows they're pregnant. Because brain development happens so early, prenatal health is crucial. Taking prenatal vitamins with folic acid is crucial. Eating a balanced diet is beneficial. Avoid alcohol, nicotine, and drugs, as well as getting regular prenatal care. These factors support proper brain formation and reduce the risk of developmental disorders. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something from this video.